This is The Master's Touch with your host, Bishop Melvin A. Brooks. Heaven O and praise the Lord. The Master's Touch.
Well, heaven O, and God bless you. Good evening to you, wherever you are in the world this evening. In recent days, weeks, and months, and even years, I'm hearing amongst church volunteers, then ministers or leaders, complaining about burnt out. And it could appear then that within the ministry itself, that the work is being done that is creating the burnout. But I take the view that whilst you understand their work being done in the ministry, for God's kingdom, there are other initiatives, i.e. one's employment, one's family, one's businesses, and it goes on, other priorities. And so very often when we come to church, maybe once a week for Sunday worship, and some do work behind the scene right through the week, I understand that. But generally speaking, we should not put the blame on ministry. It does include ministry, but ministry isn't usually the major cause unless you're a pastor or you work in the church full-time basis. And even then, there should be management of one's time, activities to ensure there are no burnout. Nevertheless, it's there. A writer called Lou Holtz said, "It's not the load that breaks you down. Rather, it's the way you carry it. We can carry a lot more than we think. Our level of stress and feelings overwhelmed is often because we are trying to work too much, too fast, too hard, and too long without a break. If the number of tasks on your schedules doesn't paralyze you or me, then we pile in more things. And that's how we conduct our life usually. And so when we face challenges, we blame one area for our lives. And sometimes we blame the easiest one, like the church, or if you're in a volunteer organization, we're given free time. But usually in our job, we don't say that because we believe we must give our total best, which we should, and then everything else must be secondary. But really speaking, it's prioritizing what one should do, what we should do it, how we should do it, and why we're doing it. Those are the things to remember. Overworking has a cost. We work longer hours, but instead of being more productive, we become exhausted and discouraged. If we don't watch, our busyness hurts rather than helps. Here are 5 ways to fight burnout. To fight burnout. Number 1, F is finding rest. Finding rest. Rest doesn't happen by accident. You must plan for it. Sometimes you just need a nap here and there. Other times you need a good night's sleep. You must create habits of rest in your life. It's important for us to focus on productivity, but at the same time, we must be resting. Finding rest daily. Finding rest by going to bed at a decent hour weekly. Make time for things that rejuvenate your life, like hobbies and exercise, like things that work well if you unplug for a time. Anything you have in life, if it's unplugged for a while, it works better later. Put things down for a moment. Initiate inspiration. Initiate is important because it's your experience, inspiration, and it doesn't come looking for you or me. You and I must find it and keep it and keep looking for it once you find it. Initiate inspiration continues. Be a student, studying something of interest through reading, listening to interviews, or watching videos on a given topic keeps you inspired in your work. All those are principles we need to have. Get discipline. Get discipline. Regain control of your life, one task at a time, by focusing on the next priority. When life seems to be coming at you and I, start reacting rather than acting. It helps it helps you to pause, to look at everything, small and great, in detail, singularly in details. Get discipline in your meetings, daily conversations, and how you handle answering emails, texts, and WhatsApp. All these are critical. Get discipline continues. Getting discipline, which is one of the best ways to fight burnout, often means prioritizing and cutting unnecessary things away from your activities, from your doings. Try to give life by the idea of edit to amplify. Try to give life and live life by the idea of editing to amplify, to magnify, louder. Often we need to say no to good ideas so we can say yes to the most important things in our lives that must be done. Feeling overwhelmed usually comes because we are lacking control. You and I regain control of our lives, one task at a time, by refocusing on the next priority. That's how we are to live our life. We are to have focus. We need to have focus. Call it being present in the moment or simply focusing. Learn to focus on work when you are at work and focus on your family when you're at home. That's what we need to do. Refocus, have focus. All these things will initiate change in our living and therefore eradicate burnout. Focus. If you see anything wrong with the work from home movement, it's what we have lost. I said again, if we see anything wrong with the work from home movement, it's that we have lost the balance and our work has shifted too far into our family time, in our family lives. We're going to make time to be alert at home and be aware and be present at home when we're at home, particularly when you have children. Whilst as we get older, our spouse and us can do things separately because of who we are. When you have children, they must know you're at home. Not seeing you back in the chair or doing something else, but they see your face in their face, talking, relating, playing, sharing, reading with, or listening to them read. Things must be evident to them that we are home and we're not far away at all. I think that is important. Years ago, I watched a film called The Unorganized Manager. I had a video and a friend borrowed it and they lost it. I'm so hungry because that video cost £100 to buy now. The Unorganized Manager. It's a beautiful story and God's involved in it. Basically, the writer of the program is excellent. So if you're out there and have a copy of the Unorganized Manager, the Unorganized Manager, please let me borrow it. I love it. It's a wonderful illustration of how we can mess things up even in God's eyes. Then take a sabbatical. That's something we don't do very often within ministry, in our workplace, or in life. But I'm discovering more and more we need to have sabbatical. And so if we are able to get away for a long period, then I suggest make it a long-term goal to take a sabbatical. And of course, now before you stop reading because you can't take off of months or weeks, get away to a fresh place to refresh yourself, to think, and to rejuvenate yourself, to reignite your passion, to give you excitement and conviction and passion and refreshness. Rejuvenate yourself can be helpful and life-changing for 2 weeks or a month. Don't rule out a sabbatical. You need it, and so do I. Particularly if you're in a ministry or a business that you are very much involved in, you need to do that. And then spend your life being unsure. If let's change it and look at from this angle here. If you live a life not sure where you're going, it's a waste of living. If you spend time not sure who you are, you're living a life of unsatisfactory. If you live a life wondering and pondering who you might become, you're still in trouble. But we should spend our life being confident who we are, not being unsure. Very important. Being confident of who we are and not being unsure of who you are. And so sometimes we're afraid to take sabbatical, particularly in the church world, because we don't know how people might respond to that. But whether people agree with you or not, if it's necessary to take it. You need to have the time to recuperate and come back stronger, fitter, and useful. Then, if you don't want to take the sabbatical, it's possible I may shorten my life. And yet, once you have taken the sabbatical or the week off or the month off, it's amazing how you realize you needed it. In 2022, we went away for 3 weeks. These 3 weeks I ever spent in my life as a married man, as a minister, and it was wonderful to being away from this country and another country for 3 weeks plus. It was fantastic. It was brilliant. I thoroughly feel refreshed, revitalized, encouraged, strengthened, mobilized, passionate. I realized the benefit of that moment. We all need that. So don't spend your time being unsure of how people look at sabbatical. Take your time, make good use of it, and return better than when you went. That's very important. Because too often it's too late when we realize the benefit of taking time away. You know, I say to people, as a minister, if I die tonight, telephone a pastor not very long from now. The system is there for that. If you work somewhere, it doesn't matter who you are, the salary you're paid, or you're loved by them. If you go tonight and Monday morning, they start a process of replacing you, all right? If you are a husband and you waste your life and your wife was just unhappy with you, and so the children, once you bury you, it won't be long for somebody come in your life to fulfill the gap you've left and do the things you didn't do when you were alive. So keep those in mind. And if you don't have weeks to take off, consider taking 1 day off per quarter in a solitude place. Go away. somewhere for all day. Just be quiet. Be by yourself. To reflect, to think, be creative. Do that. A field that is rested, giving bountiful crop. Like the season of a field goes through. Make sure one here at least. You make the time to find a space to rest intentionally. A solitude place is useful. And back in the Testament days, sometimes some grounds was left for a year just to rest. Because the next year, it would grow bountifully and produce excessive blessings of crops, quantities. And the farmer is excited. The farmer is blessed because his harvest has come in. May I say unto all of us, don't burn yourself out. I'm trying to change my attitude to that. Take time for you and your family. Recuperate, readjust, and reorganize and rest. Because rest can bring healing, restoration of relationships, of health. It can bring peace, can bring harmony, less harshness, less stress, less anxiety, and possibly prevent strokes or heart attacks. Make time to recuperate. Make time to exercise your body's need of rest. Think it through. Remember that God intends for us to rest. That's why He gave us one day to rest from all our works. Because the body must be built up. The body needs building up. Make time to rest. Because when you're resting, you're healing. When you're resting, you're growing. Your mind becomes sensitive to learning, to retaining, to discern, and to how to live your life. God intends for you and I to be successful in ministry, with our family. We must not live careless lives with ourselves. Too many of us are eating at the wrong time, the wrong things, no exercise, and so we are overweight. Sometimes we are, sleepless. And then we are tired, worn down, and so our function become less productive because we're weakened, and when we're working, we want to sleep. I'm saying to all of us, including me, make time to rest. Make time to recuperate. Don't burn yourself out. Don't allow the enemy to win over you. Don't allow the enemy to rejoice over you and me. Let us intentionally take time to address our scheduling and make time to rest, make time to think, and make time to study, make time to research, and make time to have fun with our family. Make time to share, and make time to be a blessing to them by being present, literally being present. Not just in the room, being present, being proactive with them, do things together. That's how you build a secure rapport with your spouse and children. And life is a gift, and those who has it must manage it well. Manage it well. God said we should rest. Sabbath was made to man, but man wasn't made for it. Nevertheless, it was given to us to appreciate and value and live accordingly. And as preachers, there are a lot of preachers who are complaining they're overtired, they are stressed out, it's too much for them. And COVID came along and opened doors of doubts and fear, and now many have confused themselves. Folks don't go back to church, they sit away from church or on Zoom indefinitely because COVID came and showed us all up. We weren't ready for the change, and now we are paying the price. I'm saying to pastors, whoever you are watching this broadcast tonight, and the Master's Touch broadcast, please make time to rest, make time to investigate, and make time to consider What can you or I do differently to be effective as pastors? There are too many of us pastors are now struggling with our health for different reasons. It's time for change. It is time for change for all of us. We need to consider carefully how we intend to maximize our lives, because we have potential power that God placed in us to use for Him and for His kingdom. But if we aren't fit for purpose, we won't fulfill our assignment. And could it be we are responsible for unfinished business? So I'm saying to you, I'm saying to myself, and those who are watching me today, that God wants you to understand that your life is worth much to Him, fit and alert for purpose. If we are not fit to purpose, we are minimizing, we are obstructing our assignment. So I pray as you will strive to please the Lord, brothers and sisters, leaders everywhere, may I ask you to consider adjusting your schedule a bit. Readjusting your time spent on certain things and give more time to resting, studying, and praying. It may help you and I become better pastors, better preachers, or better husbands. If you're a female, better mother, better wives, and better siblings, and goes on. But we've got to make time to rest. When you rest, you're going to feel better, feel refreshed, revitalized, inspired, encouraged, motivated, and in harmony with your body. Too many times we take things for granted because we're in the Lord's business. We think we are okay, we can do as we like. We think because we are a preacher, God will protect us because we are preachers, but actually no. Yes, He will in certain circumstances, but the reality is we must take care of ourselves. Take care of family. Paul reminds us, if a Christian or a believer does not take care of his family, his household, is worse than an unbeliever or an infidel. So now that tells us we need to be fit for purpose to work and provide for our family. That is our task. And if we're not doing that because we're lazy, or in fact damage ourselves because of unwillingness to change, we might be accountable for that too. So let us all strive to live for God, strive to walk in faith, and strive to walk in truth. God intends for you to know Him for yourself. Don't allow the devil to confuse you as to who you are. Recognize who you are in the hand of God and use your skills and your ability to advance His kingdom, but also let us all learn to make time to rest. Don't let other folks judge you, or don't allow people to, as it were, measure your workmanship. As the leader of God's people, you have a choice how you do things. But you should be at a place where you're trusted by those you're leading, and they have no question mark if you're resting and recuperating, or just having a few days break, just to gain fellowship with God, intimate rapport with Him in prayer, meditation, and His Word. But don't think you are king because you feel good. Being healthy looking doesn't mean you're healthy, doesn't mean I'm healthy. It doesn't matter how you preach. Don't take every invitation unless God said do so. Some you must turn down just to rest. There's nothing more sad than seeing preachers on the stage sleeping. They come to a meeting and then they're dozing off within an hour of the service. Within an hour of the service, they're dozing off. They're rubbing their face, rubbing their eyes because you're tired. That's not good. Prepare yourself. There's some place you just cannot go. Send a representation or you send your apologies. You can't go everywhere. But sometimes we think we're so superior, we are so important, we must go everywhere because we're going to want to show up and see the king is here. No, no, no. When you're dead, when I'm dead, they come to the grave. He's a good man, a great preacher, but he didn't manage time. He didn't get much rest. No, 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 no. That's what I say. Oh, what a shame. But they were calling you because they love your style of preaching. They love your articulation. They love your Greek and Hebrew. They love your expression. You illustrate the subject. They love all that about you. You're brilliant. But then they'll work you to death. And the reality is, the people you're meant to be pastoring, because you're giving time to outside bodies who don't necessarily need you that much, but because of your name, they want you there. And then your people suffer loss whilst you're trying to please others. I've told my friends and many people in this country, don't invite me to preach at your church because we're friends. Please, invite me because I have something you need. If I have nothing you need, then don't call me to preach. Not necessary. Preaching is about being relevant, about being, as it were, in a place where you are called to be. But I find these days we invite friends because we are friends. So you call me and I call you, you give me a check and I give you a check. That's nonsense. In fact, I don't ask for an offering. I've been asked many times, what's my fee? I said, well, in truth, I got no fee. Only one thing I say, if you can afford my petrol or my diesel, that's fine. If not, if the Lord wants me there, I'll come anyway. But don't allow yourself to get caught in working every weekend, preaching everywhere. Or in the week. No, I will tell you, I travel a lot. But I also rest up. I rest deliberately because I want to make sure I'm fit for purpose. I'm saying to you tonight, wherever you are, or today, watching this, be a man of God, a woman of God who know your purpose and know what you're called to do. Be a man of God or a woman of God who know your purpose and why you're here, and do it well. Be forgiving in your life. It takes stress off you. Be forgiving. Be understanding. Understand the next person's circumstances. Don't make rash decisions about that person because what you heard or what you think of them. Be of understanding. Get under the matter. Find the truth. And then truth will allow you to give justice to the situation. Don't be a fool. Get your rest. Choose wisely. Take care of family well. Don't be a fool. Don't be unwise. Be alert and be sensitive. Don't ever allow anyone to force you in a corner where you don't want to be, that you've lost sight of who you are in the hand of God. Don't allow it. So don't be a fool. And don't ever forget that you have worth, values, and you have potential and purpose need maximizing. So don't burn yourself out. Stay strong. Stay courageous. But remember, it's in your hands. May God bless you and keep it the next time. Little brother BMB, I love you, but Jesus look best and better. God bless and good night. Bye for now. One touch of the Master, all it takes to change your life forever. Good night.
This is The Master's Touch with your host, Bishop Melvin A. Brooks. Heaven O and praise the Lord. The Master's Touch